So what is lifestyle design, and how can you design the days that allow you to live a lavish life? That's what we're talking about today in today's video. All right, I talk about this often. If you follow me on Instagram at LaTisha Styles TV, then you might notice that I'm constantly talking about how to create your own version of a lavish life. I talk about living a lavish life. I talk about nothing should be too lavish. And part of that is there's a story that I'll tell you that kind of started the whole thing. So a couple of months back, I was getting a pedicure and I chose the orange slice pedicure. So this is a type of pedicure where they actually bring out orange slices and they scrub your feet with orange slices. It was heavenly. It felt really good. And my feet were really, really soft afterwards. And I remember I was talking to my husband and telling him about it. And he was like, wow, that's really lavish. And I was like, no, it's not. I was like, it's just a pedicure. Like everybody gets pedicures, right? And he was like, no, he was like, that's something that only rich people do. And I was like, but I don't consider myself to be rich. But then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, nothing should be too lavish. Like if I want somebody to rub orange slices on my feet, then I should be able to get orange slices rubbed on my feet. And that's kind of what started the whole thing. And it started me thinking about what does it really mean to live a lavish life? Because for some people, yeah, having orange slices rubbed on your feet is going to be their definition of lavish. But for other people, it might just be being able to eat an orange slice, right? So there's different levels to everything. And so I wanted to talk today about what it is to live that lavish life and how you can incorporate the levels of lavish in your own life so that you can truly have a life that you've created by design. So the first step in order to create your lavish life and design your life is choose what you want your days to look like. Now, I've kind of talked about this a little bit before when I've done another video on how to design your life. But what I'm talking about as far as your days is, what time do you want to wake up? What type of foods do you want to eat? What time do you want to go to bed? How do you want to spend your day? What type of people do you want to spend time with? What obligations do you want to have during the day? And when I first decided to start designing my life, I was working a full-time job. I was living on my own, but I was working in a cubicle. And I remember thinking, this is not how I want to live my day. I was actually going back before that. I was living at home and I had to wake up really early and drive an hour to work every single day because where my parents lived was in the suburbs and the job that I had was in the city. And so I was commuting an hour back and forth each day. And I remember that was one of the first things I was like, I no longer want to have to drive an hour back and forth to work. I'm losing 2 hours in my day. Those are 2 hours I could be working on my blog. I could be making enough money to leave my job. Like that was the thing that I wanted to do. And so I started putting those steps into place to get my own location, get my own apartment. And I did. I got my own apartment and I chose an apartment that was right across the street from my job. It was literally a 5-minute drive. And because of that, I was able to sometimes take naps. I went back to my apartment sometimes at lunchtime and took a 30-minute nap in the middle of the day because I had a 1-hour break. Sometimes I would drive back to my place and make lunch for myself. Sometimes I would be able to literally roll out of bed and still get to work on time without having to be an hour early. And so that was my process of designing my life. That was like the one small thing that I knew I wanted. So figure out, what do you want your days to look like? I knew the next thing that I wanted was to be able to work for myself so that I didn't have to use an alarm clock at all. And that's something that I have the ability to do now. It takes time sometimes to get to those places in your journey, but you never get there if you don't choose first and decide for yourself, what is it that you want? So what do you want your days to look like? Second thing is choosing how much time you want to spend with friends and family. I truly feel like a lavish life is one that is filled with love, filled with friends that you enjoy spending time with, filled with family that you enjoy spending time with. Like my absolute favorite time during the day is literally sitting on the couch in the office with my husband while he's on his computer, looking at whatever, working on coding or whatever it is he's doing, and just kind of hanging out in there and spending time with him. Like that's a big part of my day. And it's a big part of me living a lavish life. It's also one of the reasons that I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to have that time so that I could like spend those hours with family, being able to, take off from Memphis and drive to Atlanta to go see my new baby nephew and spend time with him without having to ask permission to take off of work. That was truly my definition of a lavish life. So think about, what is it for you? What friends do you want to spend more time with? What family do you want to hang out with? Maybe it's a family that you want to create for yourself and you want to spend more time with your kids. Like, what is that thing for you? That's the second decision that you have to make when you're choosing your very own version of a lavish life. And then the final thing and the final way to choose a lavish life for yourself is choose what really makes you happy. This is more than just things. This is more than just, purchasing more items. It's really the thing that makes you happy. It's usually something intangible. For me, like I said, it's really spending time with family. But my big thing that really makes me happy is freedom of choice. So that's my huge, huge, huge thing. It's not about flying first class. It's the choice to be able to purchase a first class ticket. It's not about flying in a private jet. It's about the choice of being able to take a private jet so I don't have to be on anybody else's schedule. You see, it's the freedom of choice that I truly desire. That's what truly makes me happy. And it even comes down to when I'm, getting a drink from a bartender and they say, do you want a lime or a cherry? And I'm like, cherry, like, yes, and extra cherries, please. Like, that simple choice, like, that's what I love. I love having that freedom of choice. I think it kind of comes down to me being a Gemini and having kind of that dual personality where there's, these things that I want over here, but then there's also these other things I want over there, and being able to allow like the twins to be able to choose whatever they want. Like, that's huge for me. So figure out what it is for you. What is it that truly makes you happy? Like, deep down at a cellular level, beyond things that you can buy. Think about experiences, think about friends, family, think about characteristics and those things that truly make you happy. That's how you can start designing your very own version of a lavish life. Because even though I might not be able to afford a private jet right now, I know that because I truly desire freedom of choice, because that's what makes me happy, what's going to make me more excited is being able to choose my seat on an airplane, because that's what I really like, is the freedom of choice. Or being able to choose to drive versus fly, right? So it's whatever that thing is for you that truly makes you happy. And you can start injecting that into your life in all ways before you have money to spend on like that highest version of it, before you have, the money to spend on, getting orange slices rubbed on your feet. If it's like feeling pampered, well, you can pamper yourself by doing a pedicure yourself, or taking that time and giving yourself a spa day. So there's ways that you can inject those levels of lavish in your life and truly design your life without having all the money to do it yet. And as you do that, you'll start enjoying your life more, your vibration will rise, and you'll become more of a match for those things that you desire that you don't have yet. What are your thoughts on this topic? Are you really big on lifestyle design? Have you decided to start designing your life? This is one of the things that it's like a high level topic, but it's what I share with my 5-figure clients. And these are clients who they've gotten to the point where, they've done the strategy, like they know about the sales funnels, they know about how to do the marketing, and now they're ready to really step into that new version of themselves. If that's something that you're interested in doing, then I would love for you to go click the link that's in the description in order to contact me and we can chat about private mentoring. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.